Welcome to PENSARE Basketball. This is an official response to, and a polite response to Players' Choice Show saying Scottie Barnes is overrated and is never going to be a superstar. The reason I'm addressing this video is not because I'm a drama llama, not because I want the clicks. It's partially because I happen to be a really big part of the Players' Choice family. It is, it's been a blessing for the last year and a half to spend so much time between playback, the panel. It's great, man. Pen late as usual. Yep. Well, I apologize. I actually thought I scheduled the stream for 6 o'clock. Anyways, so it's been interesting. And one of the biggest bits of pushback I always get on the panel and on playback and frankly everywhere on PC in the community is about how I feel about Scottie Barnes. Not specifically who Scottie Barnes is, but what he represents and what he will eventually be. So ultimately, I thought that this conversation, which was very interesting, where six, highly educated basketball people who view basketball from very different lenses, some accredited media, some, ex-players, talk about the holes in Scottie's game. And I think it perfectly encapsulates how the world feels about Scottie Barnes. And I wanted to respond to it. And I want to respond to it because I feel, Tariq says, it feels like PC praise for Scottie Barnes' downfall. Don't worry, don't take it personally. It's not Scottie's downfall that they're preying on, it's mine. And that's perfectly okay, because when you're going up there saying this dude is great, this dude is amazing, this dude is better than Cade, this dude's better than Evan Mobley, this dude's better than Jalen Johnson, this dude's better than Jalen Suggs, this dude's better than Desmond Bain, Paolo Banchero, Cade Cunningham, all the guys that I have put him in conversations with. Partially my advocation for Scottie will always come down to one, what I actually believe, which is true. Number two, it is because I need the world to pay attention to this guy. And it just so happens that on Tuesday, the whole world paid attention to Scottie Barnes. He was the only guy on TV. And it was a nationally broadcast game. And Scottie Barnes had an absolute abysmal disaster class. Now, every one of these gentlemen up here have watched more than just that game. But I found it interesting that in that moment, they were willing to disregard a lot of what they'd previously seen. And I think you're going to hear some sensible opinions up here too. I think Mars makes a lot of sense in terms of what he's talking about. So let's take a listen. Enough preamble.
I had this conversation.
Let's listen to what Chill. So from left to right to left to right, that is LaRon Daniels. He is our host. That is Big Ox Media. You can definitely go follow him. That is Chilltown Hoops. You definitely know Chilltown Hoops. You've seen him all over TikTok. That on the bottom is Mars Talk Sports. He is huge he's really huge all over the internet, but he's huge in the basketball community. And a lot of people think that he really understands basketball at a very deep level, given that he is super young. He definitely does understand basketball at a very deep level. Then next up is Real Talk, an emerging content creator. And the next up is Damian Peters, NBA accredited media guy from Australia. So let's listen to what they had to say. And I'm going to try to keep it real respectful and not get super, super angry. Okay, let's listen. I haven't heard this more than once, so I'm a little bit foggy on everything they said. So I'll address points and I'll stop the video where I need to, and I'll address the points one by one. What's the best format for me to do this? This is probably the best. Okay, let's listen to this.
Penn and I had this conversation about Scottie Barnes, and I told him that I would watch more Scottie Barnes. This was last season, and unfortunately,
you don't see
it didn't move. I just, I'm sorry. I don't want to sound like the old guy to get off my lawn, but to your point, Real Talk, I just didn't. I didn't.
Now, here's a fun point. Chill is a big time Boston Celtics fan, well, Tatum fan, more specifically. He's also a very big advocate for the Cleveland Cavaliers, Evan Mobley specifically. These are two teams that he follows. And Scottie has had some monster performances against Boston, Tatum, Evan Mobley, and the Cleveland Cavaliers, including this year, where I think there was a game where I think probably one of Scottie's top 4 games of the year, where he handily outplayed Evan Mobley. Watching that game, given where the Cavaliers season is, given the fact that the Raptors have beat the Cleveland Cavaliers 3 times, Scottie has been really impressive in 2 of those performances. I don't understand how you can watch this game, and just say, hey, there's some context that matters here. Now, one of our subscribers here and members, Troy Knights, had a really interesting quote. in our comment section where he said, how come when the Raptors beat depleted teams, we always say, but they were injured. But when the Raptors lose, when they themselves are injured and are having to, play Elijah Martin and AJ Lawson and, rookies, they're having to start a second-year player who was a second-round pick last year in Jamal Shed. They're having to play Chucky Hepburn, who wasn't even drafted this year. He's a rookie, and he couldn't buy a shot. How come there isn't enough credit given when that situation happens to say, hey, the Raptors didn't have their guys. They weren't healthy. They've hit a wall. They're tired. There's never any grace given to the Raptors when they lose. There's nothing but, praise retracted when they win. Why is this? And I think it comes back to the fact that people don't expect the Raptors to be very good. They have an idea that Scottie Barnes is a role player. They have an idea that Brandon Ingram is injury prone. When Brandon Ingram is healthy for 22, 23 games, they don't say, wow, Brandon Ingram is healthy. But the minute he misses 2 games, they'll be the first people to tell you, look, we told you he was injury prone. This is an anchoring bias to the ultimate effect. When Scottie Barnes comes out and scores 28 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists, or whatever, one of those performances where he's hitting step back jumpers, hitting his threes, nobody is willing to say, holy shit, that looked like LeBron James, because that's not a comparison that exists in their mind. That's not a framework. When he can take 2 defenders and whip the pass to the corner that nobody saw, nobody says that's Nikola Jokic like, that's, Jason Kidd like, that's, I don't know, that's something Kawhi Leonard could never do. They don't think that. When he does some of the stuff that he does on defense, they don't say, damn, that's probably one of the best wing defenders in the NBA. That might be the second or third best defender in the NBA period. They don't say that. But when Scottie Barnes has a game like he did against New York, they're very quick to say, see, told you he was Draymond Green. And this type of I've seen it. Like on playback, I believe it was the game against the Lakers where Scottie did a lot of really fantastic stuff with the ball creating in the half court. I went out of my way to show chill, right? Every single play that Scottie made that game. And I showed Drench as well. We were all up there on playback and we were watching that. And it was so interesting to see, there wasn't really much of a willingness to even pay attention to it. It was just not impressed. Some of the stuff that Scottie does at his size is very impressive, defensively and offensively.
I don't be seeing it either.
We need to start acting like the eye test isn't important. If you're watching a player and you every time you watch him, you keep coming away with, I don't see what you guys are seeing, then that's it. You can't force your eyes to see something that isn't there, in your opinion. You can't force them to see something. So if you don't see,
and Mars, I felt bad too. To be honest with you, Mars,
look, it's one thing to be right. It's another thing to be early. It's another thing to understand that situations are maybe predetermining certain things. Last year, I went up on Player's Choice and I said, SGA is having one of the greatest guard seasons ever. It's right up there with 17 Curry. It's up there with Kobe Bryant. And I got laughed out of the room. People thought I was crazy. People thought I was insane. A year later, it is widely accepted that the year, which culminated in the championship, I went up there and said OKC is going to win the championship last year. Go look at how some of my takes on PC have actually aged. Go look at, what I said pre-draft about Kaman Malawach not being ready. Okay, yes, you'll point to the misses. You'll say, well, you told us Carter Bryant was going to be a lockdown defender, and now Carter Bryant's not in the rotation. Cool. Yeah. Also told you that Grady Dick was probably a bad move, right? Also told you the Jakob Poeltl trade was not a good idea. Also told you 2 days before Luka was traded to the Lakers that he was eventually going to end up on the Lakers. Where's the credit? Where's the credit? Where's the credit for picking OKC preseason for the NBA championship? My point is not to salute myself and pound my chest and say, look how right I am. My point is to say that the expected value of a take or a prediction comes down to how you think and how deeply you're willing to invest in the take, which is to say, nobody has watched more Scottie Barnes on the panel than me. Nobody, right? No, you definitely cannot be right about everything. And the minute you want to be right about everything, you're going to be wrong about everything. I completely understand this, Frank. And I'm not saying I'm right about Scottie because I was right about SGA, or I'm right about Scottie because, or I'm right about AJ Debonsa because I'm right about this. I think I'm right about these things because I put a lot of time and a lot of effort into making sure that I'm right or wrong. I shit test my takes. I have opened myself up to the idea that maybe Scottie Barnes is not a superstar. I've thought about that endlessly, and I've looked for evidence to suggest he may not be that type of player. I think when player's choice will often maybe ridicule a player for a situation that they're in, they don't understand what the situation could be. For instance, earlier this year, Scottie Barnes was the number one guy on the Toronto Raptors in terms of front court touches. Okay, front court touches excludes all the bringing the ball up the court that inevitably will lead to Andre Miller's and Emmanuel Quickley being like the number one guy in terms of touches. So filter out those touches, and for the first 15, 18 games of the season, the Raptors were a top 5 half-court offense. How can you ignore the number one touch guy being a top 5 half-court offense? Now, today on the panel, Swiper was quickly able to say Jalen Johnson's better than Scottie Barnes. Look at his numbers. It's amazing. He's a future league MVP. He's past Scottie. People are very quick to say that, but the arguments are not consistent. When Scottie was shooting poorly from 3 last year, they said he couldn't shoot threes. Now he's shooting 40% from 3. They still think he can't shoot threes. Well, I don't know if he's shooting 40% from 3 after last game, but he was shooting 40% from 3 through 22 games this season, right? Because they don't believe it. Cade is shooting 29% from 3 this year. I hardly ever hear it brought up. Jalen Johnson has led the Hawks to arguably one of the worst half-court offenses in the NBA. He's not a half-court creator. But the half-court scoring doesn't matter for Jalen Johnson because the numbers are nice. Scottie's numbers are never going to completely reflect what he does, but it's also worth noting that through 4 years, there are only 2 players in NBA history who've had 15, 5, 5, 1, and 1. Only 2. Michael Jordan, Scottie Barnes. There's also the year-by-year progression. There's also the scaled evaluation. We do not judge all players the same. Davion Mitchell is different than Anthony Simons, is different than Tyler Hero, is different than Bam Adebayo, is different than Pascal Siakam. You don't look at Pascal Siakam at 22 and then look at Tracy McGrady at 22 and be like, well, done deal. One guy's better than the other. One guy can do things the other guy can't do. Pascal could barely do any of that stuff. When the stuff that he's doing right now, he learned to do when he was 23, 24, 25, 26. He grew into it, right? So who's to say Scottie can't do a lot of the same stuff that Pascal can? He is a much better athlete than Pascal, but it's not obvious. Where it becomes obvious, the type of athlete Scottie is when you look at his P3 testing. P3 has often been a very big Scottie Barnes advocate. For those people who don't know, P3 does like highly analytical, very detailed athletic testing. And they said that Scottie Barnes broke their model. They said that if you could, this is a direct quote from P3, if you could design a defender in the lab, it would be Scottie Barnes, basically, right? So let's take a listen to.
I was like, am I missing something here? Maybe because I started watching more games because I was like, maybe I'm not seeing what these dudes are seeing. Maybe I'm wrong here. And then I'm still watching and I'm like, I don't see it. Maybe I'm wrong.
But chill, it's okay though. It's okay. Like not everyone's going to be a 1A type superstar. I think for Scottie Barnes, I don't know about you guys, but for me, his ceiling defensively is far higher than offensively. Like
I don't agree with that. So here's the thing. I think that his ceiling on both ends is top 5, top 6 in the NBA. I just think the defense is further along than the offense because the offense is being held back by, a high handle and, high hips. And he's just a very anamorphically weird basketball player. Like when you look at him anatomically, he's a very weird basketball player. He's all legs, all arms. And, he doesn't get down low, right? In his stance, it's hard for him to get super low. But, Brandon Ingram, it's also hard for him to get super low. Let's not pretend like Brandon Ingram had everything in his bag that he does today. This is grind. This is year after year of work. Let's not pretend DeMar DeRozan had everything that he has today in his bag. This is work. You're basically telling me you don't trust him to work on his handle. You don't trust him to work on his pull-up jump shot. But I'll guarantee you this. When he goes to the rim, no matter how clunky it may look to you, I promise you he is more open than Cade Cunningham. When he gets doubled, I promise you he sees the open read better than Jalen Johnson. And this has to matter when we're talking about superstar upside. It has to matter. How you process the game and your space generation has to matter. Now, of course, I've always said when it comes to superstars, getting to your spots, ease of getting to your spots, dynamicism getting to your spots, these things matter too. Scottie has spots on the court, but he doesn't always know how to get to them. He doesn't get to them consistently. He doesn't have the tightest handle. But we've seen moments, man. Let's not lie to ourselves. And we haven't seen moments where he has absolutely destroyed Jimmy Butler, Giannis Antetokounmpo. We haven't seen moments where he's taken Alex Caruso off the dribble. This idea that Scottie cannot beat his defender off the dribble is crazy. First of all, that's what picks are for. Okay? First of all, like there's a lot of guys who can't beat guys off a standstill. Cade Cunningham, Luka Doncic don't necessarily beat guys off a standstill. They have a tight enough handle. They bump, and then they get some separation and they, hit a turnaround shot, or they get all the way to the rim, or they use a little bit of craft to draw a foul. Like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is not some super, super vertical twitch athlete. This is not Ja Morant we're talking about. Not everybody has to look that way. But when you judge Scottie on the metric of Michael Jordan, like how much like Michael Jordan does this look like? Yeah, he's going to fail miserably. But that's not the be all and end all, right? The 1A star type stuff, like that shit is a little bit overrated, right? I mean, I guarantee you, I would get less pushback if I sat there glazing Jonathan Kuminga.
I'm yet to see anything offensively that can suggest he could be a 1A or a 1B on any championship team, and it's okay.
Yeah.
Hey, like it's okay. Not everyone's going to be that, but he'll always need guys like Brandon Ingram or complementary stars if the Raptors are ever going to contend.
But the question is, who doesn't need complementary stars? Didn't Shai need J-Dub? Didn't J-Dub put up 40 points in the finals? Did Michael not need Scottie? Did Shaq not need Kobe? Is Shaq not a superstar because he needed a shot creator? Like if Scottie Barnes has Kobe Bryant in 1999, 2000, Scottie's still the best player on that team. Got news for you. Kobe didn't erupt until like 2001, 2002, 2003, but the shot making element of this is very important. The guy who can shift, twitch, dribble, whatever, that stuff, it is very important. Isolation scoring is very important. Late clock, that kind of verve, handle, creativity, this stuff is insanely important. And I'm not denying its importance. I am, however, saying in the obsession for big numbers, a certain skill type, you might be missing the forest from the trees here, right? Rasheed Wallace was the best player on a championship team. Was he not? Can we be honest about that? Wasn't he? Was he the best player on the Pistons team? I don't know. Did he not need Chauncey Billups? You get Scottie Barnes a Chauncey Billups. He can't win a championship? What is this 1A star type, right? They're just being honest. Well, I'm not surprised you feel that way at all, given everything else you've said throughout, the years. And this is where I say the anchoring bias is very real. Now, Scottie is having a wonderful season. I think he is absolutely on pace for All-NBA. Let me give you some context. In the 8 games that RJ Barrett has missed, Scottie Barnes is averaging 21 points per game, shooting 58% true shooting, has a 4.7 box plus minus, which is firmly all-star, borderline All-NBA. He's averaging 8 rebounds and nearly 6 assists a game. Those are almost Nikola Jokic's career averages. Okay? And nobody up here is saying he's playing his best basketball. Nobody. The best version of Scottie is certainly something that you can win a championship with as your best player. He will not be Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He doesn't have to be Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Just like Jason Kidd did not have to be Dirk Nowitzki, and Dirk Nowitzki didn't have to be Tim Duncan, and Tim Duncan didn't have to be Shaquille O'Neal. It's not like anyone ever sat there and said, Tim Duncan's not a real superstar because he doesn't dunk like Shaq, or Dirk Nowitzki's not a real superstar because he doesn't defend like Shaq, or Kobe Bryant's not a real superstar because he doesn't pass like Jason Kidd. This is weird to me. Shot making is very important, but you can find that elsewhere. Jalen Green can create shots for you. Devin Booker can create shots for you. Brandon Ingram can create shots for you. But if Brandon Ingram is on the same team as Kevin Garnett, it's possible that Brandon Ingram will average 25 while Kevin Garnett averages 23. It doesn't change who the star of that team is, right?
And it's okay.
The problem is, Damian, when I hear stuff like that, I'll get excited. I'm like, who is Scottie Barnes? I got to start paying attention to him. And then there's this deflation, like, oh man, I don't see it. But then I try to get myself hype again, like, okay, maybe I ain't seeing what you seeing. So, okay, I'm gonna pay more attention. I'm gonna pay attention to him when he get the ball and see how he dives to the basket. And then it's like, I don't see it. Am I wrong? Is something wrong with me?
I mean,
it depends on what you're looking for. What are you looking for before?
That's a great question. What are you looking for? If you're looking for tween demons, you ain't gonna find it with Scottie Barnes. If you're looking for elite court processing, I mean, look, man, there have been games over this stretch without RJ Barrett where we have gone to Ingram over and over and over and over and over in the fourth quarter and registered 0 advantage. Give the ball to Scottie, clear out. He finds the advantage, whether he makes the pass, whether he makes the pass that makes the pass, whether he gets to the line, or whether he makes a pull-up jump shot, or whether he hits a 3, or whether he gets a layup. He's going to get you buckets. Scottie is good for the offense. He is good in the half court. He is good in the full court. He is great in transition. He is great on defense. It's just weird.
Before you look to watch Scottie Barnes, what are you looking for?
I'm looking for a super freak athlete. I'm looking for a dude that's nice with the pill.
He is a freak athlete. It just doesn't look the way you want it to look. He had the second highest drop vertical ever measured in P3 history. He has hands almost on par with Shaquille O'Neal, and he can play point guard. He has insane lateral quickness to the point where he is shut down. Name another player in league history who has, not can, has shut down Steph Curry, shut down Giannis Antetokounmpo, shut down Nikola Jokic in the same season. Go ahead. I'll wait. That takes freakish athleticism, man. Chasing Steph around screens ain't for everybody. Boxing up with Jokic ain't for everybody. Holding Nikola Jokic scoreless for a fourth quarter or holding him to 2 points to a fourth quarter, that shit is hard. Boxing up with Giannis, do you understand? This dude moved Giannis. Now, I had issues with how Jaylen Brown phrased what he said about Scottie Barnes being super strong, having an extra chromosome, which of course points to Down syndrome. But let's assume positive intent because we're all about positive intent. Let's assume some positive intent here. Positive intent says Scottie Barnes is freakishly strong. Strength is part of athleticism. Scottie Barnes has a 40-inch vertical. That is insane. He has a 7'4" wingspan. That is insane. He has stride lengths that are on par with Giannis. The timing on that block, the block against the Charlotte Hornets, that is insane athleticism, man. And you know what? To any one of these dudes up here, I wish I could run a simulation where they had to meet Scottie one-on-one and try to score on him or try to stop him from scoring. I pray that one of those elbows goes into the chest and your chest is basically broken. I wish that one of those layups that you think is wide open because he's 6 feet away and he just wipes it away. The potential is so insane with Scottie, but it doesn't pop off the screen like it does with Amen Thompson, because it's not like, oh, he just jumped and he touched the backboard. No, he's barely jumping off the ground. But don't confuse it. This is half speed Scottie. He can jump. When he wants to jump, he can jump. He has go-go gadget arms. Like when he goes, okay, there are 3 players in NBA history that I have ever seen run the length of the court, no travel, 3 dribbles. Can you guess who they are? Chat, 160 of you in here. Can you guess the 3 players who have done this ridiculous thing? And if you want to think about what I'm saying, the NBA court is 94 feet. To do what I am suggesting, you must traverse at least 86 feet. At least 86 feet in 3 dribbles. Think about a normal human being. That is one. That is one. Can you think of Giannis, Wemby, and Scottie? I apologize. There are actually 5. Now that you're saying it, there are 5. So it's Shaq, Giannis, Scottie, it's Wemby, and it's Wilt. That's it. LeBron James has done it free throw line to free throw line. He hasn't done it like end to end. When Scottie grabbed a rebound against Orlando, that was the dunk over Jalen Suggs. That rebound was grabbed about 4 feet from the rim, and he finished with a dunk. That was 3 dribbles. 3 dribbles. If you don't think that is freakish athleticism, I have to ask, do you know what athleticism is? because athleticism is not just Shaden Sharp. It doesn't always move smooth. It doesn't always move hitchless. Sometimes athleticism is brute strength. And I find it hilarious to have to say this because the person talking about athleticism is literally the first cousin of the guy who did it the first time, which is Shaq. That's Shaq's cousin up there, explaining, why Scottie Barnes' athleticism isn't popping off for him.
A dude that can score buckets on any and everybody at any point.
Okay, once again, why is this the metric for a superstar? Was Jason Kidd not a superstar? Was Isaiah Thomas not a superstar? Did they ever average 28 points per game? Why does this have to be the one-way star? Was Jerry Stackhouse a superstar? Jerry Stackhouse wasn't a superstar. He could score 30 points any day he wanted, right? It's just weird.
I'm looking for
that's it right there. That's that right there.
That's what I was
saying. You was looking for
that's the issue.
You're looking at the wrong
but you got that's all I've been trying to tell you.
Look at the laughter. It's not unforeseen that Scottie could score 30, 40 points. He can score 30, 40 points. Because he chooses to pass, you want to hold that against him. But that's wrong. Wanting to pass to an open teammate is how Scottie played basketball. That's how he grew up playing basketball. Now, last year, he was maybe a little bit more shot happy. But right now, he has players on his team that need touches. And he's not going to go outside the offense to prove something to anybody. Tim Duncan didn't do that. Tim Duncan didn't put up mega scoring numbers. But he just won. So put a decent team around Scottie Barnes. Let me assemble a team where he would still be the best player. And it would be a championship team. And you tell me if I'm wrong that this wouldn't be a championship team and he wouldn't be the best player. At center, give me Miles Turner. At power forward, give me Jaren Jackson. At small forward, give me Scottie Barnes. At the 2, give me Desmond Bane. At the 1, who is the 1 here? Fuck. At the 1, give me Jalen Suggs. Okay. Is he the best player on that team? Yes. Is that team a championship contender? Hell yes. Hell yes, they are. You got spacing galore. You got elite creation. Right? Well, got elite creation. Maybe instead of a Desmond Bane, you need something else. Maybe instead of a Desmond Bane, you need like a Devin Booker. But now we end up in a weird situation where y'all think Devin Booker is better than Scottie Barnes because you don't understand what I'm looking at. Fuck, let's put Brandon Ingram because at least this panel can agree that Scottie is better than Brandon Ingram. So let's put Ingram. Let's put Ingram at the 3, Scottie at the 2, and let's just put like a sharpshooter like. Let's put Desmond Bane at the 1. Forget Jalen Suggs for a second. No, you're right. You're right. Derek White. Let's put Derek White. Actually, you know what? Fuck this. Let's put Derek White and De'Aaron Fox. Nah, we can't put De'Aaron Fox because they're never going to agree. They're never going to agree that De'Aaron Fox ain't better than Scottie Barnes. So, okay, Desmond Bane. I mean, again, you understand Halliburton, Devin Booker, like these players will be seen as better than Scottie Barnes, right? You understand what I'm saying, right? Fox will unfortunately be seen as better, but at least Jalen Suggs would not be seen as better. Let's see here. Aaron Gordon, Chet, Scottie Barnes, Miles Bridges, Jalen Suggs. They'll say Chet is better. Scottie is buns. How are you a member of this community? Were you gifted a membership and you've decided to use your membership for evil? That sucks. Fox is definitely not a more complete player. That is for sure. Yeah, that's true. I mean, we could put Karl-Anthony Towns, Kristaps Porzingis up front. Like literally, we can go a lot of different directions. My point is, if you give him proper spacing and you give him proper defense, let's put OG Anunoby there. Let's put OG and Jalen Suggs, and put Scottie at the 4. Put some creation. I mean, honestly, in many lineups, I can see him as a 1, the 2, the 3, the 4. I probably can't see him as a 5, but like honestly, like Jaren Jackson in there. Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, like Norman Powell, Brandon Ingram. There's a lot of non-superstars that I can put with him and make it work. Lauri Markkanen. I mean, this panel agreed that Scottie was better than Lauri Markkanen, so let's put Lauri Markkanen in there. Like, if we put Lauri Markkanen at the 4, Miles Turner at the 5, Scottie at the 3, I genuinely don't give a shit if you put Colin Sexton and Emmanuel Quickley at the 1-2. We're going to compete in the Eastern Conference. We're going to compete. Okay? So my point here is, in that situation, Scottie will do his Kevin Garnett thing. He'll average 21 points, 8 rebounds, 5-6 assists, be a menace on defense, connective passer on offense. That's not Draymond Green. That's not Draymond Green. No.
Beware of false prophets.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
See, everybody knows that he's talking about me, but I appreciate that he didn't egg it on further. He almost went there, but I'm glad he didn't go there. But I'm pretty sure he wanted to go there.
You just gotta watch.
Who's the
you know
false
what I'm saying?
prophet?
Good call, Ron.
Huh? Be easy, brother. We just talking ball.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna make that call now.
See, this kind of stuff bothers me though. Like I'm happy he didn't go there, but me personally, say it. Just say it. Pen's the false prophet. Cool. If I'm the false prophet, tell me I'm the false prophet. You a false prophet too. You said the Kawhi Leonard shit with aspiration was no big deal. Am I a false prophet? Okay, cool. You said Chris Webber better than Nikola Jokic. I'm the false prophet. Okay, cool. Oh, we being polite though. My bad.
All I'm saying is you gotta understand, like, that's why they got Brandon Ingram, because Scottie is not gonna score on everybody. He's not gonna catch the ball, ice up on the wing.
A lot of Raptor fans feel this way. A lot of Raptor fans feel this way. That the reason they went out and got Brandon Ingram is because they tried it out with Scottie and it didn't work. So now they got to get a guy who's better at it than him. No. The directive to get Brandon Ingram is because Brandon Ingram is a former All-Star who is in his prime, who is severely undervalued. The Raptors are not a free agent market. And so they thought, let's bring BI here, fit him into our system, make him super efficient. And this is a really good buy low, sell high opportunity for us to address a major talent deficit that we have. I think that Brandon Ingram specifically replaces Grady Dick, not Scottie Barnes, because Grady came into Toronto to be a bucket getter, scorer, and people may not see it in Grady's game, but a lot of the actions they run for Brandon Ingram are the same actions they run for Grady Dick last year. So the reality is, I think they want to put scoring next to Scottie Barnes. Why is that shocking to anybody? I would want to put scoring next to any good passer. Is it an indictment on Magic Johnson that we need to put James Worthy next to him? No. Is it an indictment to Kevin Garnett that he only ever broke through when he had Sam Cassell and Latrell Sprewell, two bucket getters, explosive athlete in Latrell Sprewell, kind of isolation scores. Sam I am, a little more of a, traditional grinded out scoring guard. And then when he finally broke through, he had Ray Allen and Paul Pierce. Give Scottie Barnes Ray Allen and Paul Pierce. Give Scottie Barnes Ray Allen and Paul Pierce and ask him, Scottie Barnes, go anchor that defense. Now, I'm not putting him on par with KG right now because I know better. I saw KG in 2004 and he was legitimately fucking awesome. And if Scottie gets to that level, that'd be amazing. But don't tell me that in 2004, we were not talking about Kevin Garnett being like the best player in the world, because we absolutely were. We were talking about KG, best player in the world. You know who has compared Scottie Barnes to Kevin Garnett? Kevin Garnett has compared Scottie Barnes' game to his own game. Jason Kidd has compared Scottie Barnes to himself. Magic Johnson has compared Scottie Barnes to himself. Kyle Lowry has said he's a point guard. So many people have stamped this dude. So many people have looked at this guy's game and said, wow, like the vision with which he competes, how he sees the floor. His head coach has compared him to Nikola Jokic. The comparisons are not for everybody. Nobody on planet Earth has compared Jalen Suggs to Michael Jordan. Okay, let's just be real. Okay, you reserve these kind of all-time great metric comparisons, whatever, for the guys who are actually special. Cade has been compared to Grant Hill, Luka Doncic, guys like that. Okay, I think that's generous, but cool, right? Those comparisons are typically reserved for like top 10 guys who have a chance. Scottie has a chance. He has a chance. I'm not saying he's 100% going to get there, but don't tell me in this video that he can't get there.
Go to work in the ISO situation and just give you bucket after bucket. That's not Scottie Barnes' game. Scottie Barnes is an awesome defender. Scottie Barnes is awesome in transition. Scottie Barnes can make that extra pass. Scottie Barnes is a hooper.
He's the best passer on his own team, and his team is probably the second or third best passing team in the NBA. Just want to throw that out there.
Yeah.
Scottie Barnes is absolutely a baller. He's a hooper. He's not an ISO, give you 28 a night type of dude, though. And for me, that's okay. You know what I'm saying? That's
and a ski mask.
Ron's so nasty.
Ron is ridiculous.
And this dude. Wait till I see him, yo. I swear, wait till I see this dude, yo.
You know, but that's my only thing about Scottie is like, and for me, I don't need you to be that. You know, my favorite player of all time is Scottie Pippen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't need you to be a catch the ball on the wing and fry everybody in front of you to respect your game. I think Scottie is still the best player on the Raptors, but he's not a number one scoring option. So it's just like, what are you looking for? Chill. Don't let anybody tell you that you're gonna watch Scottie Barnes and see Tracy McGrady on the offensive end. You absolutely never will.
Ironically, young Scottie Barnes was compared to Tracy McGrady by a lot of people. A lot of people. Now, if you get the handle to come with it, then we can talk. Because 6'8" hyper processor, from Florida, you can see some elements of it. But Scottie is built so different than Tracy. Just, his anatomy. Anatomically, he's built very differently than Tracy McGrady. He is built. Scottie is like. He's built like a center meets a shooting guard, and he's stuck in the middle somewhere. It's not tweener. It's just like it's the best of all worlds. He has the lateral quickness of a wing, and he has the brute strength of a center. That is not something you could say for Tracy McGrady. So if you put Tracy McGrady's vision, court mapping, all that stuff, scoring package into Dwight Howard's body, it ain't going to work. It's a little bit flunky. It's a little bit weird. Scottie just has a longer path to get to his destination. That doesn't mean, look, man, let me put it this way as a good analogy, right? Some people take 9 years to go through postgraduate, right? Some people need 2 degrees to get their job. Some people need 1 degree to get their job. Some people need 3 degrees to get, to where they're going. We don't take a person who is like halfway there and just look at the other guy who got the degree already. Like if I need a Bachelor of Commerce, right? And the other guy needs 2 postgrads. I'm not going to look at that guy when he's doing his postgrads and be like, look how far ahead of you. I'm better than you. I'm not better than you. You just taking longer to get to your fucking destination. The eventual payoff with Scottie is up to Scottie, right? Like no one knows 100% like what Scottie's going to be. What I'm telling you is compare what everyone said about Scottie 5 years ago. Compare what I said about Scottie 5 years ago. I have been 100% way more right than most people. People in Toronto wanted Suggs. Y'all wrong as hell. People wanted to trade him for Kevin Durant when KD was already 33. That age like milk. Y'all wanted to build around Pascal Siakam instead of Scottie Barnes. How's that looking for you? I don't get how people just get to be wrong. And I keep being right. But because I'm not as right as I need to be, I'm still wrong. How about I'm more wrong? I'm less wrong than you were. How's that? Is that good enough? I'm less wrong than most people were about Scottie. Most people did not see him being an all-star. Most people didn't see him averaging 20. Most people didn't see him winning Rookie of the Year. I said right away, he's going to contribute right away. I was not thinking he was going to win Rookie of the Year, by the way. That was above even what I asked, even what I thought he would do. So he exceeded my expectations in year one. But let's just say it wasn't so quick. Let's say year one, he comes out, he averages 5. Would anyone be mad? No, because he was a project. 0 level scorer, Sam Vecini. You're going to have to wait a really long time, Sam Vecini. If ever. Might average 15 points per game one day. This was the professional scouting on Scottie Barnes. Might average 15 points per game in his prime. So if he averaged 5, then he averaged 10, then he averaged 15, then he averaged 17, and this year he averaged 20, which he's averaging. He's averaging 19.9, 19.8. Would y'all be singing a different tune? You do realize his per 100 possessions numbers are pretty much going up across the board, that his shooting is getting better, that his game is expanding, that his defense has gotten better. Like, I have seen plenty of players get a lot of praise for getting better, while eight parts of their game got worse and one part got better. They became better shooters, but they became way worse defenders. I don't hear anyone talking about the regression on the other end. I'm seeing Scottie Barnes get better across the board. I'm seeing him get better on the court. I'm seeing him getting better off the court. I'm seeing him be a better leader. I'm seeing him be a better defender. I've seen him be a better shooter. He's a better creator. He's a better ball handler. He's better in the post. He's better on the block. He's better screen setting now. This dude is a sponge. And you don't get better by accident. So I'm going to trust the work. I have always trusted my own work. Okay? When people want to fucking come at me, I just say, shut the fuck up and go outwork me. If I'm going to put 8 hours into my draft coverage, you want to beat me, go put 12. Go put 15. I always believe in the work. And that's why I'm going to believe in Scottie Barnes. I'm going to choose to believe in Scottie Barnes. And I promise you, the day that I am wrong, I will come out here and be like, I was wrong. Fuck yeah, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I'm wrong as hell. He ain't going to be championship number one. He doesn't want it bad enough. But this is a dude who has come out and told you he's going to win Rookie of the Year. And then he did it. He told you he was going to be an all-star. And then he did it. And this year he told you he can fucking win MVP. I don't doubt Scottie Barnes. Call me an idiot. I don't doubt him. I don't doubt him. I'm never going to doubt this dude.
I was expecting some shit like that, Ox. I really was. I was expecting to be blown away by a bucket getter, a shot creator, a guy that could get downhill and make plays. The way it was brought to me. And to Mars's point.
But that's not how I brought it to you. That's not how I brought it to you. I said he was better than Evan Mobley, and he is. I said he was better than Paolo, and he is. I also said he's better than Cade. Some people will disagree with that.
Yeah, you gotta start testing your eyes. It's okay. It's okay
Definitely check your eyes.
to trust the eye test. It is
but he can score though. Chill. He can score the ball. It's just not the. This is not the way. He's not. You know they got Brandon Ingram for a reason though.
Yeah, it's just not what he does, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like Ox's point, not every basketball players aren't perfect. Scottie Barnes can't do all of the stuff he does in terms of rebounding, playmaking, playing off the ball, playing in transition, defense, and then be this superstar Kevin Durant type scorer. Because if he could, then quite frankly, we're looking at the best player in the league. Like, and he's not, and that's fine. But
that's the point, isn't it? If he could figure out some of the stuff that other players like Kawhi Leonard, Brandon Ingram, big wings who took a long time to get going. Let's just be real. Brandon Ingram was not doing step back midi fadeaways as a rookie. Okay. DeMar DeRozan was not some mid-range demon. Not everybody came ready out of the box. Dirk Nowitzki wasn't ready out of the box. Dirk Nowitzki was honestly a bust on day one. There were people in Dallas saying, we traded Robert Tractor Trailer for Dirk Nowitzki. This guy sucks. These guys didn't come ready-made. Not everybody's Luka and fucking Shea. Not Shea. No, not everybody's Luka and LeBron. Some people are absolutely going to take a little bit longer, but you have to look at what they're working with here, right? And after this video, I'm actually going to just play a clip of Scottie doing everything these dudes are saying he can't do.
Everything else he does, and then if you're able to get someone next to him who can do that half court scoring, like a Brandon Ingram, ideally you level up a player of Brandon Ingram's caliber and you get the next group up. Maybe that is like a Jalen Brunson type or whoever. Yeah. Scottie Barnes will fit them seamlessly because he can play pick and roll, he can play short roll, he can play in the dunker spot, he can make connective reads, he's knocking down spot up threes this year. You get all of that, and it's like, oh wow, look at Scottie Barnes. We got this guy providing top 20 impact outside of half court scoring. And that's a rare player to find, but you find someone returning impact.
But see, this is so disingenuous because Scottie is a decent half-court scorer. He's not bad at it. He's not great at it. I'll hand you that 100%. He's not great at it, but he's not as bad at it as Mars is making it sound right now.
In all the ways that stars typically don't return that impact. And it's like, okay, well, that's valuable. It's just you need someone to actually do the things that stars, quote unquote, typically do, which is
same guy who thinks Steve Nash is an all-time point guard is telling me we need to focus on archetypes. Steve Nash was very atypical. He was not Isaiah Thomas. He was not Jason Kidd. He was not Gary Payton. He wasn't John Stockton. He was totally different, totally unique. People thought he was soft. People thought he was this and that, that he shoots too deep and stuff. What about Steph Curry? What if I just used the point guard archetype and just said Steph Curry is not really that great a point guard because he doesn't do the typical things that point guards do. He's more of a shooting guard. But people have no problem saying Steph is the greatest point guard of all time, and neither do I. I mean, it's not my greatest point guard of all time. I'll give it to Magic. But maybe that's why I'm a Scottie Barnes fan. His GOAT is Bill Russell. What the fuck are we talking about? Bill Russell wasn't even a top 10 offensive player in the league when he was playing, and there were 12 teams. I don't think he was a top 30 offensive player. What are we doing here? All Bill Russell did was win. Come on, man.
You know, the scoring stuff.
I was gonna ask y'all, how far up the list can you get as a player while not being a fantastic scorer in the half court? Because when I'm thinking about it, like the people that do all the other things very well. So like a Scottie Pippen, where did Scottie Pippen max out at as far as like top what number?
Scottie Pippen was arguably the third best player in the NBA at his absolute peak. And during his prime, he was at worst the sixth or seventh best player in the league. He was consistently a top 10 player. Don't let anybody lie to you.
He was a top 5 player when he was playing with
Scottie was
He was
far
a top
better.
5 player when he was playing with
He's a much better scorer.
Scottie Barnes is a super poor man's version of Scottie Pippen. Like,
no, he's not. No, he is not. He is not a super poor man's Scottie Pippen. No, he's not. Their numbers are damn near identical. If not, Scottie's numbers are actually better. Yes, even adjusting for possessions through their first 4 years. Let's not do that. I can agree. Listen, we see people saying Scottie could win Defensive Player of the Year, and the league is stacked full of defenders. He is not a super poor man's anybody, unless that someone you're talking about is LeBron James. Nuh-uh. No, that's disrespectful. I don't know who the fuck you think Scottie Pippen was, but he ain't 28, 12, and 5. You know, that ain't him. He had the triangle. He had great defenders around him. He had the best player in the world next to him. And when he didn't have the best player in the world, I got news for you. They drew up the play for Tony Kukoc.
Yeah, that's more like a broke ass version of Scottie Pippen. Like
that's just fucking disrespectful.
He's like a super duper broke ass version of Scottie Pippen.
I think with the defense, Mars, I think I
as if the first time wasn't enough. We had to run over that 3 more times. Okay.
I think coupled in with the defense and the stuff that you talked about with being in the dunker spot, being able to affect the game the way he does, being able to knock down an open shot, the fact that he can't create offense as a bucket getter consistently, I think the other stuff can trump that. And I think that he could possibly be a consistent top 15 player at his best.
He's already a top 15 player. What are we doing here? At his best. He is a top 15 player right now. I will see you at 15. I'll probably raise you to 11, 10. I can't get higher than 10 right now, but honestly, with Joel Embiid fading out, I don't know what Jason Tatum's going to look like. One more year, man. One more year of Scottie progressing in the offseason with Brian. And I'm seriously I'm talking top 10 next year. He's top 10 next year.
I think it's almost the Draymond
top
Green
10, I think you asked
comparison.
It's not the Draymond Green comparison. First of all, Scottie is bigger, he is way more athletic, and he's a way better scorer. He is also way better at a younger age. Why we do this Draymond Green thing, I will never understand. But if you put Scottie Barnes next to Steph Curry, I guarantee you he is never not winning a championship. Ever. Draymond is amazing. I have glazed Draymond endlessly. Scottie is a way better player than Draymond. And you know who else thinks that? Draymond Green. He said he can do what I did, but way, way better. I believe he can be the next level of what I did. But do you know what Draymond Green would be if Draymond Green was 6'8" with a 7'2", 7'4" wingspan and a 40-inch vertical? He would be the third or fourth best player in the league. It's fucking
It's almost a Draymond Green comparison, real talk, where it will really depend on most of the time who he's surrounded with.
Name me a player that's not true for. Please help me out. Which player does it not matter who is around them? Context dependency matters for every player. I have heard Swiper bitch and complain about non-Jokic minutes literally for 2 years straight. It matters who your teammates are. I saw Nikola Jokic completely choke away a game, and he's the best player in the world, and I love him. He's my second favorite player in the league, maybe third after Shea and Scottie, because Jamal Murray went out. You need pieces. But can we stop ignoring the elephant in the room here? Scottie's teammates are nowhere near as good as Jalen Brunson's teammates. They're not. He has never played with a center like Kristaps Porzingis or Miles Turner. We saw what Pascal Siakam looked like with Scottie Barnes and Gary Trent Jr. and all like really good players, OG Anunoby. And then we saw what that looked like next to a Tyrese Halliburton. You put Scottie Barnes next to a Tyrese Halliburton and a Ben Mathurin and an Aaron Nesmith and a Miles Turner in that super high octane offense. And you see this dude doesn't average 20, 11, and 7. With great defense, how's that not a top 10 player?
Because if you're playing elite level defense, if you're doing all the intangible stuff, if you can pass the ball, like all the attributes Mars says, there's so much value in it. And if you're not a great half-court scorer or creator or a shot creator, or you're not putting out big offensive numbers, if you get the right...
These are big numbers. They're not as big as Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, but like the other day, there was a alert on a website I was looking at, and it was for the NBA Cup. And it was for the PRA's over-unders. I looked at the entire game. So we're talking all numbers, right? Big numbers. Jalen Brunson was plus 35.5. 36.5. Scottie Barnes was plus 35.5. Widely accepted as the best point guard in the Eastern Conference. What are we doing here?
Right team around you, and you're in sort of defensive player of the year conversations, you can be a perennial sort of top 15, top 20, top 20.
I compared him to Draymond.
That can be more than enough to win a few titles and things.
Yeah,
Draymond Mars?
Yeah, I compared him to Draymond pre-draft.
Because like I heard Scottie Pippen. That's probably why
I compared him to Draymond and Ben Simmons.
People compared him to Scottie Pippen, Aaron Gordon, Kevin Garnett, Kawhi Leonard, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Draymond Green, Magic Johnson. Do you understand the kind of weird player I'm describing here?
And this was when Ben Simmons was good, so it wasn't
mad at the Ben.
So yeah, I compared him to like Draymond and Ben Simmons, like meshed. I never saw the half court upside that I guess some other people see. Everything I viewed him as,
hey Mars, I'm some other people,
was like this connective offensive piece, but like it was still extremely valuable. I value those archetypes. Do I think they're going to exceed that of to Damian's point, the true superstars? No, but I do think like in terms of possession to possession impact, they're always going to be really, really impactful because they do so many things. But at the end of the day, close games, fourth quarter, half court, yeah, we all know that there's a reason Toronto go to Brandon Ingram every time.
It's just not true. It's not true, and I expected better from Mars. It's not true. They go to Brandon Ingram because Emmanuel quickly wants to pass to Brandon Ingram and Scottie Barnes sulks in the corner. The truth is, their half-court offense has been a combination of many people. Many people. This is not some, like, the way you listen to these six individuals discuss this scoring gap disparity between Brandon Ingram and Scottie Barnes, you would think that Scottie's averaging like 16 and Ingram's averaging like 27. Come fucking find out. Ingram's averaging like 22 and Scottie's averaging 20. What are we doing here? And Scottie's been way more efficient. Nuts.
Time. There's a reason for that. And Scottie Barnes knows that. The Raptors know that. The players know that. Brandon Ingram is their guy for half-court scoring, shot creation. Spreadsheet FC have a problem with Brandon Ingram because of the way he does it, because it's a lot of mid-range stuff. But at the end of the day, no one else on their roster can do it. And that includes Scottie Barnes. No one else on their roster can do it. So that skill set is valuable.
KP7 said, what would they rank him if he played for OKC right now? Honestly, they'd be talking about him as a defensive player of the year, most likely. They would be talking about him as Scottie Pippen to Shea's Michael Jordan. Yeah, the conversation would be different. They'd be like talking about him like a top 10 player like they did with J-Dub. I think he's a better player than J-Dub.
But I say all that, but I think we all know, we might joke about it. Scottie Barnes is still the Raptors' best player, regardless of the fact that Brandon Ingram has the skill set of he's more of the superstar skill set in terms of like the things he does is more of the superstar stuff. But Scottie Barnes is still their best player because of everything he still provides.
So here's my question. And it's a good question to ask at this point. Who does more of the superstar stuff? Latrell Sprewell or Kevin Garnett? Paul Pierce or Kevin Garnett? Manu Ginobili or Tim Duncan? Kobe Bryant or Shaquille O'Neal? Bob Cousy or Bill Russell? You see how this goes downhill so stupidly fast? Who does more superstar shit? Kyrie Irving or LeBron James? D Wade or LeBron James? See the point? It gets real stupid real fast, right? Kevin Garnett was relatively efficient. Scottie Barnes is relatively efficient too, bro. What are we fucking doing here? Scottie Barnes hella efficient right now. 58%. Like this 1A, 1B kind of stuff, it drives me up the wall. This is not really how basketball is done. It's not how basketball is made. I don't think Luka's going to win a championship in his life until he figures out how to play defense. But here's some things that superstars need to be able to do that I need to know if all these other people that you think are superstars actually do. I think they need to make their teammates better. That's why Jason Kidd is a superstar. And frankly, Kenyon Martin and Richard Jefferson are not superstars. Gary Kittles is not a superstar. Okay? They need to make their teammates better. They need to see plays before they happen. Another reason why I believe Jason Kidd is a superstar. And honestly, like really, the point guard of my generation coming up was Jason Kidd, Chris Paul. Who does more superstar shit? Who looks more like a superstar? Chris Paul or Blake Griffin? Like who fits the archetype of a box office superstar? Chris Paul or Blake Griffin? And let me fucking find out that you think Blake Griffin is a better player than Chris Paul. I really know you don't know ball then, right? Sheesh. This one size fits all approach when it comes to Scottie, but then let me find out this dude just loves Bill Russell and loves, like, I just don't get it. You love Bill Russell, you love Steve Nash, you love Ben Simmons, you love, like these are all very weird archetype players. Very weird.
So I think we can all acknowledge that, but acknowledge that he has flaws that will probably limit his ceiling because you're not going to get to the Jokic, Shea, like
no, he ain't
Jason
never going to be that
Tatum,
good.
Anthony
No.
Edwards. He's not.
I will guarantee you 100 million% that if you would ask these same six individuals in 2021 if Shea would ever be better than Cade Cunningham would be, they would tell you no. You don't know where this is going. You don't know. I don't know. And I this is my life. This is what I do. This is my job. Okay? Covering the Toronto Raptors is like pretty much 30% of my life. And I don't know where this is going. And I'm humble enough to admit that this could end up being a first-team All-NBA, 6-time first-team All-NBA. This could be a 2-time third-team All-NBA. This could be a All-NBA snub, and that's the best it ever got. Or this could be a 3-time league MVP. I really don't know because the ceiling, as Kyle Lowry once said, as Michael Jordan once said, is the roof. It's the roof.
Don't get
It's
there.
never going to be that.
I don't see it unless there's a
Jaylen
major
Brown.
change.
And what Jalen said was out of
I don't
pocket
think
as
he's
well.
ever going to be that good.
I don't think he
Yo,
missed
bef-
like that though, Damien. I don't think he missed like that.
It's the panel.
Okay. So shout outs to the panel. We are on every day, 11 o'clock till 2 o'clock, sometimes a little bit later. But for those people who have come here without a real
I had this
understanding,
conversation about
of who Scottie Barnes is, what Scottie Barnes does, I have a little treat for you. A video I made of Scottie Barnes literally doing everything that a lot of these fellas think that he can't do. And this will be my outro for this. The hell Where we at?
If Scottie is the centerpiece of a
Peace out,
trade
y'all.
for Giannis,
Wait, my final thoughts. I'm going to be right about Scottie. I promise you, I'm going to be right about Scottie. And if I'm wrong about Scottie, I'll admit I'm wrong about Scottie. But I promise you, I'm not going to be wrong. Scottie's going to be amazing. Scottie wants to be great. He wants to be the best player in the world. He will be the best player in the world one day. Maybe he won't be the best player in the world. He'll get as close as Scottie Pippen did, is my guess, as to how good Scottie is actually going to be. And if you ever need to understand how good Scottie is, watch this video. I'll talk to y'all later. Like this video.
I think the Raptors should seriously consider that.
He needs to change his attitude, work ethic, and his coachability.
You know, it's not a ton of young guys. It's one young guy. How much of this is just the Raptors vets didn't get along with Scottie Barnes?
What are you gonna do?
What I do best. I'm gonna kill him. Anyone that was involved, anybody who profited from it, anybody who opens their eyes at me.
You kill them all.
Forgiveness is between them and God. It's my job to arrange the meeting.
No one's seen anything yet.
Running.
33% from three. Scottie! Diorama! Hello!
Anyone that was involved, anybody who profited from it, anybody who opens their eyes at me.
You love running.
Turnover here, Scottie. Barnes, a windmill dunk. And it's a little flex action. Hello!
I want our fans to know this, that the most difficult ones are the guys like Scottie to find. Hopefully one other person can emerge on our team, or you get another one and you're on your way.
I believe it's.
Hold on. I want to point something out. I just want to point something out. Okay, I'm going to mute this. I want you to watch this play. That's Matisse Thybulle, bro. That is Matisse Thybulle. I want you to watch this play against Matisse Thybulle, and I want you to tell me that he ain't got half-court scoring ability. Okay? Forget this for a sec. Sorry. Watch this play. Forget this. Hang on. Okay, this play right here. Okay. Now, squint your eyes and tell me this ain't Kawhi Leonard, this ain't Giannis, this ain't a superstar, okay? That's Matisse Thybulle. I'm trying to tell you, Matisse Thybulle is basically physically designed to stop Scottie Barnes. Cross, wide, fake, clear, rise, separation, spot, finish. I'm sorry, was that a transition dunk over one of the best defenders in the NBA? I stand corrected. Continue, Scottie.
I believe that Scottie is the player that's a very unselfish player, team-oriented player. He also brings a lot of intensity for our defense. He's a good rim protector as well. And this season for him is going to be, one of his goals is going to be improving his defense to elite level to be recognized as Defensive Player of the Year.
Can't shoot, not athletic, no bag. I'm sorry, not athletic. Listen, I'm going to tell y'all something that I said in year 2 when Scottie Barnes was undergoing all sorts of accusations about work ethic issues. Sorry to keep interrupting this little mix here, but I'm sure if you're a fan of this channel, you've already seen this before, so I hope I'm not ruining the viewing experience. But if I am ruining the viewing experience and you would like to watch us in full 4K without my disruptions, just Google Scottie Barnes, Man on Fire, and you'll be able to see this entire clip. What I'm going to say is this, okay? I'm going to say the same thing that I said to Doug Smith when he made that article about Scottie Barnes' work ethic issue. I said, there is no world, and I refuse to live in a world where I am wrong about Scottie Barnes and you are right. It ain't going to happen. It's the same thing to Michael Grange, Josh Lewenberg, the whole cabal. No, sir. No, sir. I need to retire. If there is a world where William Liu and Josh Lewenberg and Aaron Rose and Michael Grange are right about Scottie Barnes and I am wrong, that means I have pretty much wasted 30 years of my life trying to dig into this game and learn this game as a scout, as a player, as an analyst, as a writer. I trust my work, dude. I trust my work. You think I'm arrogant, you think I'm an asshole, and that all may be very true. But man, I do the work. And you know what? That's why I said, I trust the work. Scottie trusts the work. There's this quote from Scottie Barnes, year 2, struggle year. And he said, work gonna show. Let me quote directly, work gonna show. Direct quote, work gonna show. And you know what came out next year? All-Star. Right away, All-Star. Swipe may troll it, say, oh, it was an injury replacement All-Star. Yeah, because his play fell off after they traded OG Anunoby. He was a lock in year 3 to be All-NBA, dude. He was putting up 6.4 box plus minus. He was putting up like 20. He has had an entire month where he has averaged 23 points, 11 rebounds, and 6 assists for almost an entire month. What are we doing here? And that was when he was 22. He's a better player today. You're going to see the best of Scottie Barnes. I promise you have not seen the best of Scottie Barnes yet this year. Okay, I'm out. Peace.
A man can be an artist. And anything, food, whatever. It depends on how good he is at it. His art is dead. He's about to paint his masterpiece. I don't have anything else
else to say.